Here's another chapter called Found Out, my book on Amazon KDP. Apricot was amazed and annoyed. He didn't like people getting away with bad things and upsetting people. Apricot wished that he could tell Mary what he'd seen and how he was feeling, but all he could do was frown and look sad. Mary stroked Apricot's fur tenderly, and he was as receptive as a radio. Look what I bought, Mary said, turning Apricot's attention to more mundane matters. It was a beautiful scarf, and it was it was Apricot's favourite colour, gold. Apricot loved anything gold. It made him feel happy inside. Mary threw the scarf around Apricot's neck, and he beamed happily. It was so eye-catching that all of the customers looked at her with admiring eyes, all except one, the thief, and he was walking away looking for his next victim. Apricot wished that he could tell Mary, but the last thing that he wanted to do was to spoil her day. Mary finished her cake and Apricot finished his carrot soup, and they went back up the escalator. It was exciting and endless, thought Apricot. He had been in a few shops before, but they were nothing as grand-looking as this one, he thought. It was like being in a golden palace. Apricot loved the high life, but most of his life had been living the low life. On and on they went, and Apricot was beginning to feel dizzy. He wasn't used to being so high up. Apricot looked down at the people far, far below him, the men with their bald heads and the ladies wearing their colourful hats, with eyes hidden beneath thick, dark glasses, looking like bumblebees. Mary could sense Apricot's discomfort, and she stroked him gently and tickled his tummy, which Apricot loved. It didn't take them long to reach the top. This time they were in the technology section of the store, and everywhere they looked they were surrounded by gigantic TVs and radios, with big speakers and colourful hi-fi sound blasting out pop music. Mary winced. She much preferred something soothing like classical music. But Apricot pricked up his ears. It wasn't long before he was swaying and bobbing along to the beat of the music. The handbag was swaying and jumping about as if it was full of eels. A few members of staff gave him funny looks, and customers smiled delighted. Mary was busy staring transfixed at the most gigantic TV in the store. Soaps will look great on this, she thought, impressed. Apricot continued bobbing to the delight of the customers until he saw the man he had seen earlier, the thief. He was walking around looking at all of the expensive goods. It didn't take a genius to know what he was up to. Apricot stopped bopping, and he watched his every move. If only he could tell Mary, he thought, but he didn't know how. Guinea pig speak wasn't popular with ordinary people, he thought. The shifty-looking man walked around the shop looking as innocent as a local vicar, but he was anything but. There was something in his eyes which showed that he was up to no good, and that was greed. It shone from his eyes like the beacon on a lighthouse.